I think you have 28 hours in a day. I don't know how you.
No, you know what's crazy.
You got the extra 4 hours. No, 3 hours, I'd say.
Please give it to me, because I don't have it. I do not. I wish I did.
You present it like you do.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It shows how you was grinding, too, because I asked Hef for your number, but then I realized you had texted me a long time ago when you was at TMZ.
Yeah.
So I did have your number. I was just
at this point,
idiot.
Everybody has had my number, or I have called or text you.
And you was giving me like the detailed clips and shit you wanted me to put out. Like,
because I feed like
had your vision.
I feed everything. Even before Breakfast Club, when I was just doing stuff on social media, anybody that would like receive my content, I was like, can you repost this?
But we never met in person yet, right?
We met once. We met at, I think it was Complex Con.
We starting, right? This is how we just start. Fuck it.
Yeah, I figured Yeah, we met briefly at Complex Con once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Complex Con.
Yeah, but I was still at TMZ. I was in Long Beach. I think it was in Long Beach.
Yeah,
it was somewhere in California.
Yeah,
so it was a minute ago.
So how do you feel? I mean, my man Head, he tries to get me excited, talking about you the king, queen of hip hop journalism. It's
don't
hard
give me
to
that
argue.
title.
It's hard to argue right now, Loren.
No. I feel like that title, you got to be able to like list like archive like albums and all. I'm not that deep in the trenches. Yeah. But I do try and do a good job at what my job is. And
what I love about what you do is it's just rooted in traditional journalism, right?
Yes,
which is what my background is. So. Like, can you speak to that? Because you inspire me to feel like so much is like media now. Everything is media in a sense, right?
Yes.
But I feel like journalism is kind of a lost art. But what you're doing is actually the core of it, journalism, where you're reporting in the news and how you go about things. So
yes, I think I don't really know any other way. It's how I was trained because of my experience at TMZ. Yeah. Before I got to TMZ, I've always just been really good at anticipating what people want to know next, or like what people care about. And I was using that just on Instagram to like get followers on Instagram, or I worked in production to kind of like, just in jobs I had to be good at those jobs. And then I started a series on YouTube called 2L Television, Loren LoRosa Television, where I was just going to random BET weekends or whatever, just interviewing people, trying to create a reel for myself. And in that space, I think I realized like, okay, there has to be some sort of career where you're taught how to like better perfect understanding what people want to know next and how to storytell. And I got the job at TMZ, and I got in the newsroom, and I was like, oh, this is that job I was talking about. Like, and then I was in a writer's room for Project Runway All-Stars before that as a PA, and I was like, oh, okay. So production and storytelling and journalism all coincide, and that's what this is. But when people say it's a lost art, I'm like, in my world, everyone I know is doing what I do. But like people are so amazed by it. I'm like, y'all know.
I think the diligence, the way you're approaching it, I think people feel like it's like things to me are more like opinion based. Like you could just have like editorialize, but you're actually doing real reporting.
Yes,
that's the difference.
I do a little bit of both though.
Yeah.
And I mean, but people be on me; they be mad about it, but I kind of like it. I feel like I
be mad at which part?
People always say to me, "You're a journalist. You should just be a journalist. We don't want to hear your opinion." And I'm like, first of all, I didn't.
But that's part of being a journalist, is to state your opinion too.
But a lot of platforms, like for instance, with the Diddy trial, right? Like I've been able to now work with NBC New York because their anchors and their journalists on their platform, they're not allowed to give their opinion. Like they're only allowed to say, here's what happened in court today. That is it. With me, I can say, here's what happened in court today, and here's how I feel about it. Here's what I'm predicting. But again, it's all I know, because even in the TMZ space in a newsroom, you have two different shows. So you have the daytime show, which is TMZ Live, where you are just giving facts. You might give a little bit of opinion. But TMZ on TV, which is primetime, is very much comical in its opinion, but it's also presenting the facts first. So I think, I don't know, like people don't realize that I didn't just make this up. Like people have been doing this, but I think because I'm standing alone on it and I'm standing on it, people are just like, girl, you need to be a journalist and only give us the facts. And
I saw that. I remember you did one of the first days. Well, first of all, you become synonymous with the Diddy trial. I think when we think Diddy trial, we think Loren LoRosa's out there. She gonna make it make sense for us. Like I think that you already made your impact there, and the trial's not even like far from over. But like what? First of all, with that, what made you take on that challenge that you was really gonna be documenting this and hit the court every day and really be covering this story?
I just wanted to know and see myself. A lot of what you see me do is because I'm really entrenched in this thing like that. It's like pop culture and entertainment. Yeah. And a lot of it is like me I'm very curious. Like instead of me reading a court transcript or seeing documents, I'm like, no, I want to get in the court.
I'm pulling up.
Yeah, I want to see it. Like it's literally right down the street. Why would I not? Like the investigative person in me and then the investigative journalist in me, I don't want secondhand sources. If I can go myself, I want to go. And then what I started realizing was in me, because I've never covered a court case in this way. When I was in the newsroom at TMZ, I remember we covered a lot of Meg Thee Stallion, and that was like, I wasn't in the courtroom. We were just waiting for things to drop, and then we would, report on it and all those things. Yeah. So I didn't really know how I was going to go about it because I didn't want to just be on Twitter. I wanted to do video. And I remember the first day I just realized that there was like, by the time I got out of court, because of the Inner City Press Twitter account, which is an in-house Twitter account where they're allowed to tweet from the courthouse. Yeah. There have been all these headlines about the first day in court. And I'm like, there's so much stuff that these headlines are missing. And I was like, how can I come in between all of that? Like, yes, there's the sensationalized stuff that people want to hear about, but also there's so much more in between. Yeah. So why don't I just like say it? And I was struggling with how to do it. And I called Charlamagne, and he was like, just say it. Just put it all out there. Like, don't hold it. I was like, oh, no, I'm going to hold some for the podcast. And I'm going to hold some for it. He was like, no. For the Breakfast Club. He was like, no, just put it all out there. Yeah. And then from there, you have different conversations in different places. I just did it. Just unloading. Yeah. And then that first video went viral, and I was like, oh. And then I saw they were saying, you're taking Diddy's side in the beginning and all this type of stuff. I take different sides every day. Yeah. Like, one day I'm sitting, that's why I'm like, I would hate to be a juror. You're like, Brian still smoked this today. Yo, and then the next day I'm like, yo, they're dumb. Why would they do that? Like, Diddy's team is like, what is happening? Yeah. Like, y'all on a payroll of who? I'm confused. And then some days I'm like, yo, the prosecution it's very clear what's happening here. And some days I'm confused. I'm like, this wasn't the case that the prosecution made me believe they had when we first heard about this indictment. So it just depends on the day. And but you're not afraid to express that real emotion about it. Like, no, I'm not. You're feeling this way or feeling that way about it. I post it and then I get offline because the comments go crazy. Yeah. They be in there arguing with me, my mom, my grandmother, each other. Like, it go crazy. Well, this is such a salacious, like, over the top case. Like I think, do you think people can't get past sort of the scandalous content in it in terms of it? It's like overshadowing the whole thing, right? 100%. I think the scandalous content in it is the reason why a lot of people still feel like the prosecution or government has no case. Yeah. Because if you're in the court and you understand, like, what they're trying to prove, and then you're seeing how they build it. It is a slow build. I will say that, because at first I was confused too. I'm like, what is happening? It's a slow build, but they've done it. Yeah. If you understand that in between all of the salacious stuff, you wouldn't ask, why is he locked up? You would understand that even if on a smaller scale of, like, maybe it wasn't intentional for him to, do these things that they're alleging that he did, there were things done that can fit a definition of certain crimes that they're alleging, right? You can't just bring your staff. I got a gun staff member of my work to me. Get in the car with me. Let's go. It's like, just certain things. Yeah, some of the stories, I be sitting there like, your employee can't just roll with you while you got the gat. You talking about I got 28 hours in a day? Allegedly, Diddy got 46 hours in a day. Had 48. Because how the heck was he doing all of these things and still showing up? Can't stop, won't stop. Board meetings and all that. And fully showing up too. I mean, like, not slipping. We had a lot of people didn't have any idea, but the salacious stuff does get in the way because it's the bigger things. And he's such a big celebrity and a big name that's what people cling to, and that's what they want. And it makes money. It gets clicks. It's headlines. Baby oil. Yeah. No, there is a lot of baby oil on Astroglide. There's too much baby oil. No, and let me tell you, it's organized. Like, there's like little cases. We're seeing photos of like little cases of it. In different compartments, and different travel. Okay, I'm like, and then he explained, like, so sometimes you're in the actual courtroom, but there's also a carryover room. Can you explain that to people? Yeah, so there's the actual courtroom where you have, Diddy's there, the witnesses come in. So you've been in the actual courtroom at times? Yes. Okay. The first few weeks, because they changed the system. The first few weeks, like, if they had room at all, no matter what time you showed up, you could, like, finagle your way into the actual courtroom. So I've been in there a few times. Do you have, like, the press pass, or you just... So I don't have the actual press pass. I applied for the actual press pass, but I never went and got it because I've been able to just I'm Loren, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, and also too... my face card, yo. When you're there every day, even if they don't know the Breakfast Club, when you're there every day, they get to know you. And then, like, I come in, I'm dressed. So now even the guards there, when I walk in, they're like, oh, we was waiting to see what you're wearing today. Like, little things, but little things like that. That's how you gotta know how to talk to people and deal with people. You make a friend. So, but they changed the system where now they list people who wait in the line because people line up. If court is starting at 8:30, 9 a.m., people are lined up as early as like 3, 4 a.m. sometimes. If it's a big characters day, outside the courthouse. Yes, if it's a big day of court, people are being paid to stand in line. Yeah. So a lot of outlets were getting upset that they were paying these people to stay in line, and then people could just finagle their way into that main courtroom. So they've got a lot stricter with the list. which is what happened when Kanye showed up. That list is very strict
He
now.
didn't get in the first time, right?
No, he didn't. He didn't go the first time. The second time he went, he didn't get in.
Oh, that was one that was misreported too, and you had clarity for that.
Yeah, but the overflow rooms are on different floors, and the overflow rooms are still great because you're watching court on a TV monitor. If I'm just home reading from the minutes or from a tweet, you can't see, but you're able to still see. You're able to still see the reaction of and hear the reaction of people in the courtroom, the people sitting with you, and a lot of that is key for me because if I'm trying to interpret how things are being put out by government or defense and how people are feeling about it, I literally will watch in the room. So when I'm in the main courtroom, you know, a lot of times, like I remember when Cassie was on the stand, I was in the main courtroom, I was watching her husband a lot. I just wanted to see, like, you know, his reactions, what he was looking at when certain things were said.
She was visibly 8 months or so pregnant, right?
Yeah. She was pregnant as hell. Can I cuss on you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course, please.
She was please. Of course, please. No, she was very pregnant. Like,
that had to be jarring just in general, just to see.
Yeah, it was to me.
And they say Puff looking like a koala bear. What's going on with that?
Because the one of the sketch artists, she'd been drawing him because he has, like, you know,
the gray. He can't do the dye.
And he's not dyed at all. So he had said to one of the sketch artists,
"Is that surreal to look at him like to see him like that?" And
that was yes.
Yeah.
The first week I went to court because I went during jury selection, so I went even before the trial started. I was there for the full jury selection, and that was like. It was very different to see because he didn't even have a haircut during that time. He got his haircut and stuff when trial started. It was just so different.
He's not doing the suits and all that type of stuff. He's keeping it.
Diddy looks like right now. Diddy looks like a man who just shops at Kohl's.
Shops where?
At Kohl's.
What's Kohl's?
You don't even know what Kohl's is?
No.
Oh, you getting money?
What is it called?
Dang.
I'm old, Lauren. I don't know.
Do you know what?
Someone over say, what is Kohl's?
Do you know what Marshall's is?
Yeah, I heard of Marshall's.
Maybe Kohl's is like a Delaware
Target
thing.
kind of thing?
It's not even giving Target fully a little bit, maybe. But not even, because Target be a little tailored now. You know, they got designers that like do collabs and all that. No, it's giving more like Marshall's, Burlington Coat Factory vibes. Yeah. That's how he's showing up looking. So he has like pullover like crew neck sweaters and button up shirts and just slacks that he wears, but very different Diddy than what we used to see.
But I also knew though, no matter what, Puffy's still Puffy, and like he was gonna try to like, and they said that he was staring down jurors. He was like actively like making eye contact with people.
Oh, like reacting to things.
Yeah, or just trying to use his influence. Like
I don't even know.
You don't think he's doing that?
I wouldn't say that I don't know that I don't think he's doing that because that day I wasn't in the courtroom, but the days that in the actual courtroom, the days that I've been in the actual courtroom, even how he interacts with his attorneys, I think that there's just a star power charm to him that he can't turn off no matter what. Yeah. Because I was watching him one day, he pulled out the chair for his one of his like lady attorneys, and like she sat down, he scooted the chair, and they like had like a little laugh, and I'm like, it's crazy because no matter what, he's still like
he still gotta be Puff.
There's still like a certain charm and essence to him, even when like so like. When you go into the main courtroom, on the left-hand side, his family sits behind him. So the few couple days, it was a lot more people, but like, you know, his sons, his daughters, his mom, and then even Baby Love's mom was there. Like there were a lot more people, but as it dwindled down, now it's just been his sons and his mom show up like every day. He turns to them and even just like, hey, y'all all right? Nods to them, stuff like that. And it's still Puff being the man of the family. Yeah. You know, it's weird to see it because you're in a courtroom. But he can't turn off certain things.
He wants to control the proceedings or whatever way.
Yeah, but I don't know if he
not control, but kind of hosting vibe with it.
It's just like a natural like thing. And there was one time recently, I think this was like a week ago, where they were talking about juror 6. That's the juror who said he lived in the Bronx, and then it was something about him living in Jersey. He just got dismissed. Okay. So the judge had asked Diddy if he was okay with if they kept that juror on because the juror was inconsistent. They kept him on, and something happened. Diddy would waive his right to appeal and use that juror and the fact that the juror could have messed up to appeal the case, like whatever the end of this is, right? And the judge asks him, like, you know, Mr. Combs, are you willing to waive your right to appeal? And he's like, I waive my right, like I waive it. And the judge couldn't help but just laugh because he smiled and did it. And you couldn't, like, the judge, everybody in the court just, like, laughed. And I'm like, even little stuff like that, I'm like, that is so insane how it just doesn't ever turn off. Like, it's just him.
But how does it, hearing about all the craziness affect, does it get too wearing, like all the crazy stuff?
I did have to start taking breaks. So in the first, I would say like 3-4 weeks, I was there every day, all day. And then, you know, I'm waking up at 3 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning for Breakfast Club, going to Breakfast Club, rushing right out, going to court.
Oh, so you're still doing the shift in the morning?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. And then leaving court at like 5 o'clock, 5:30 sometimes, and then still having to do my content. It was getting overwhelming where like it felt like that was the only thing going on in the world. And it's just like you hearing a lot of things that you wouldn't want to just hear all the time. Yeah. So I did have to learn to like take a break. Like, you know, so once they got all the bigger witnesses out of the way, some days I might not go into the actual court. I might just get I received the court minutes and all the evidence that's entered and things like that. And I'll just go over and, you know, do it that way. But I try to get there at least 2 days because yes, it is very wearing on you. Yeah. Physically and like mentally.
With the content. And we haven't even got to the defense yet, right? So the prosecution right now, this is Juneteenth, we're taping this.
Yes.
They're still in prosecution mode. The defense hasn't even come on yet. So they think it's going to take, another month or so?
A month. No, the judge is trying to be done by July 4th.
Okay, got you.
The judge is very clear about, I don't want this to go past the July 4th holiday.
Got you.
So Diddy's team has like the prosecution was supposed to rest their case this past Friday, but there was a juror that got sick. Yeah. So because of that, maybe it might go over a day. So maybe they don't rest this Friday coming up, but it happens Monday. We don't know. It just depends on how long they take with their witnesses and then if there's cross and all of that. But they're going to be resting soon. And the rest of those weeks after the prosecution says, hey, we're done, it's on Diddy's team to present their
Do you have any insight of anything the defense may do? Is there any rumors of what they're
None. One of the biggest things is people are trying to figure out if Diddy's going to testify at all on his own
usually
behalf.
Advise you not to in most of these cases.
But you know what? At first I was like, he'd be stupid if he get on that stand and testify with all this stuff going on. But I don't feel like, I don't think that anymore. Now I feel like if he was to get on the stand and testify,
he might do it though. If anybody would do it, it'd probably be Puff.
At this point, I think the best thing that they can try to continue to do is to humanize him and make it look like, some of these things happen, but he was human, he made mistakes. And if we are going to end here where maybe there will be a sentence, let's take it easy on him.
Yeah,
like
give him 5 years or something like that.
That type of thing. Yeah. The only thing though is a lot of people who got on that stand, you know, they received immunity for certain things and like they were, you know, coached on how not to incriminate themselves and all of that. It's just, he has to really keep it tight and focus on whatever the points they prepare for him. Because if not, one little slip, it's over.
What do you mean in this sense? I'm sorry.
I mean, like, there are certain things that they ask you about. So, like, timelines, different instances of, you know, we've heard so many different stories of run-ins with different people. Kid Cudi and Suge Knight and just, you know, everything with Cassie and the trips with the different women. Like, he would have to make sure if he testifies that he sticks exactly to the key facts that his team says this will help you when you talk about those situations. Because if he goes out of that realm at all, because the prosecution is able to cross-examine him. The minute you step out of that realm,
they could pull you into that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like playing spades. It's all strategy. It's for real.
Speaking of a battle, we had this little Drake Kendrick thing that went on. That's another big hip hop story, and you know, I wanted to get your take on it. Like, why does it feel like it's just this ongoing thing? Like, it seems like it's never going to end. Yeah. And it drives the fans crazy. I know you deal with the Breakfast Club. And then you yourself made a comment towards Akademiks, and then that became a big thing. Like,
Lord have mercy.
Like, why did you feel like you got into that mix with that? Like, well, how did you end up?
First of all, let me just say about the Akademiks stuff. Somebody please go hug that man, okay?
Don't want to hug him.
No, because here's the thing. I comment on, and I think that was a moment for me where I realized, like, oh, yeah, people care, girl. Like, you can't comment on everything anymore.
People care, girl.
I comment on everything. I respond to things that happen with you, on Joe Budden's podcast, with Akademiks, just stuff on my timeline. Like, I saw something the other day, and I responded to it, and somebody texted me and was like, you don't need to respond back to that type of stuff no more. And I was like, I can't do nothing no more. But I responded because I'm in real time. I'm at the concert and I'm like, yo, the energy is so high here. My first thought was, I've been watching Akademiks videos and I thought it was going to be a little, like, I thought I was going to low key, like, not be as fun as it was because of his videos. Got you. My first response is like, yo.
His narrative was that it wasn't as filled up and as good
but
of a
time. But it wasn't that serious to me. I was saying it in a like, yo, that nigga lying. This shit was lit. When I started, I'm like, all of that. But then I have to think too, like, people don't know me in real life. And also, too, you don't get tone through tweets and texts. But then the way he came, I'm like, go ahead. You gonna do what? To who? Yeah. Okay. Like, first of all, it's not that deep. You're please, someone hug him. Secondly, I just felt like it, I don't know.
Someone hug Akademiks t-shirts, man. We gotta even get those.
I just really felt like it was not that deep and was not that serious. But I mean, maybe I don't know. But the way that he went about it, I was like, oh, okay, bet. I mean, I see where you at with it.
But you have thick skin for this foolery.
Because this is entertainment news. This is not real. In real life, neither one. This is not real.
But you don't think the Drake Kendrick thing has caused real life impact and damage to individuals?
For them. But for me, this is work.
Story,
This is a story. I'm not taking any of this home to my family. I'm not. So when you talk about I have thick skin, because I've been through real things in real life where I'm like, this is a blessing to even be able to be here and be doing all this. Yeah. So you're not about to trick me out my spot. It's not happening.
Speaking of your spot.
Oh, Lord.
Controversy aside, how do you look at how you got the gig at the Breakfast Club? Like, how do you look at it looking back at it now? Like, what was the key for you securing the gig?
I look at it like it's a lot of God's favor and timing. And I think, I don't know, like I was just prepared. I literally was just prepared to kind of just go to work. Because
so that was whether is a producer behind the scenes or is it on-air talent?
Yeah, both.
But the goal was both out the gate in your mind?
No, for me, like when I went on to the Breakfast Club the first time as a guest host, I already knew. Like I literally been told by someone, not anyone at the Breakfast Club because I didn't know them, but I had been told by someone coming in like, yo, the job is Justice already. Like they just haven't announced it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
even when you started guest hosting, it was already known
that's what was said to me by an outside source.
She was the favorite, yeah.
Yeah, but it was obvious, right? And I wasn't trying to, my goal wasn't to interrupt that. I came in like, okay, I'm leaving TMZ. You don't even really know me a lot at TMZ unless you really watch it. And even then people were like, oh, that's the black girl from TMZ. You don't know me. I knew stepping away from TMZ that I didn't want to go back into another arena on a platform unless they supported me as Loren LoRosa.
Your brand.
Yeah, my brand, myself. And I was trying to figure out at that time how I would cut through with my brand. Like I just wanted to, do what I do, be a journalist, dig into stories, use my sources to tell stories and to tell you what you want to know via social media. And I was like, I'll figure out how to make money off of that after. And on the background, I was taking production gigs. So I was like writing for ESPN. I was producing for Anscape, like just doing anything I could to keep rent paid on the meantime. But I was breaking stories and breaking down things the same way I'm doing now, but on social. So going into the Breakfast Club, it was only one day I was supposed to guest host. Literally, they're like, we'll give you one day. And I think it was because I don't know the guys. None of the team knows me. So they're like, if you come in here and the chemistry not right, we don't got to worry about no other days. So I'm like, okay, this one day.
Shot.
Yeah, like this one day for me was, this is a press rollout. Yeah. People will know I'm a free agent. I'm no longer at my job. I'm no longer in LA. I'm in New York now. And people can get to know me. And whoever hears the show, there'll be opportunities that come from that. I didn't know that the opportunity would be with the show. I was just like, I just want people to know I'm a free agent right now. That was my goal.
So when did it start to click that you feel like you could make this work?
We had a conversation behind the scenes about me becoming on as a producer. Nothing on air or anything like that. Because I feel like guest hosting, my go around as a guest host, I was still figuring out how to be a personality. Because I've always been, even at TMZ, like you're on camera and you're reporting and we're on the show, but everything is about Harvey Levin. So you kind of take a big step back. So to learn how to be a full personality for a full
my segment.
show.
Look at me.
Yes, I was like, it was so different for me. And I didn't really get the hang of it until probably like the end of the guest hosting situation. And I was able to look back and kind of critique myself. But we were having conversations just, in talk, like nothing solid, not even anything with like leadership or execs there. It was just like an idea of like, hey, do you think producer-wise you could come in and like, would you be open to it, like type of thing, just in casual conversation? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not tripping about not being on air. Like I can find somewhere to be on air. This is a great room to be in. It's a great arena to continue to learn in. Like I'll be down. So we had started talking about that toward the end of my guest hosting.
This is while she was pregnant?
No. This is before it was announced that Jess got the job.
Got you.
So just in casual conversation.
Even before that.
After the guest hosting was over.
Got you. So when she got the gig, you was on as a producer?
No, I wasn't. It was a conversation. It didn't really like materialize into anything yet. We were trying to figure it out, and then it just, it was just one of them things where you have to go through so many different like barriers to get people hired or whatever. So kind of just like
fizzled out.
Yeah, it just fizzled out. And I was fine with that because I felt like I made great relationships in the room. People got to see me.
You proved you can do it, yeah.
Exactly. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And then literally like, just staying in contact with the guys, like just regular, because at this point now I've been working with y'all for months. randomly one day I was taking my mom to a doctor's appointment and I got a text like, yo, Jess just said she wants you to come in and fill in when she leaves because she's about to have her baby. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, that's just how it happened.
Yeah. And then you smoked that. Everybody loved you. And here's the problem. I think there was also, we get caught up in competition and hype. I think if I hit you, I was like, you're killing it. You should have the gig. They're like, and then you was like, you said something to me like, you don't have to put her down to praise me, blah, blah. Respectfully, you said it to me.
Yeah.
But I think we get caught up in the hype of that stuff. So I think even before whatever played out in front of the camera with you guys, I think that was getting stirred up already, right? At the end of the day, it's like, we like this person. Like,
that's natural. Yeah. People do that, but we can do that with y'all, with the men in this. But with women, you can't do that. Like it's just different with us because it's always made to feel like it can only be one of us. Yes. And literally and physically, there's only ever been one woman in that seat. And you know, as Angela Yee as the third. So not only does the world make you feel like that, but realistically, there was just one woman. So I've always just been very careful or tried to be as careful as I could. I think we learned in real time, like, you know, where the bumpers were. Yeah. But I've just been really careful of that because I just knew that when competition is healthy and it's fun for everybody, but when you talk about women, especially Black women, it just get different for us. It's just one of those stereotypes and one of those things that like we can't get around. So we just have to be careful about it.
So when she came back and there was tension, all of that was real? None of that was rollout? That was all organic?
No
real?
Yeah. The fact that people thought it was a rollout from my podcast, I'm like, Mom, I think I made it. Like, they think that we like conjured up this whole thing. My podcast announcement was actually supposed to drop the week before that, but I didn't like the art. So it took me longer because I didn't like the show art. That's the only reason everything hit. Other than that, the podcast would have already been out.
Yeah, like, that's the latest with Loren LoRosa.
The latest with Loren LoRosa.
So you turn your segment into your own podcast on Black Effect iHeart Network.
Yes. Yeah. So when people say that was fake, I'm like, no, that was a real thing.
But it's funny too, going back to Angela. Angela kept saying things like there was supposed to be two girls or two mics thing at first.
Look,
but I feel like that's not what was communicated to you guys, or it appeared to be at the time.
I don't know nothing about. I barely listen. I don't know anything about any of
Elliott.
that. Yeah, because I really don't know. I wasn't around when they were figuring out what Breakfast Club would look like and what it would be. You know, I can't answer that question. I just know what we figured out now, but I can't answer that because I don't know.
When did it come that we could do a 4-mic thing? When did it become solid that let's do this can work? Like we bring Loren on mic and bring Jess. We do a 4-mic tandem, and also, why do you think it is working? It seems like it's working real well.
I think it's working now because Jess went live on Instagram.
What do you mean? And aired out the
I think there was a lot of things that
unspoken tension.
Yeah, we weren't dealing, like, it was weird. It was like things would happen and like we weren't, like, as much as I was trying to have conversations or, you know, when she would bring up certain things and let me know how she felt about certain things, we weren't getting to a point where it was like, okay, we moved past it. Like every time it would feel like we did, then it would be something else. I think
it had to go out to the thing
I think
to get to this place.
I think people have to realize, like, these are real people in real situations. Jess is a real person. Like, you see her on social media and, like, you know, she's strong and she has, you know, a great career and she's been handling so much on her own for so long, but she has feelings too. So if her feelings is hurt, she gonna say something. And I think she finally got to a point where she felt like, I mean, and again, I don't know her full experience because I don't know all the conversations she was having or trying to have that weren't had, but she felt like she wasn't being heard. And I think once she felt heard and once we were able to, like, now we at the point where we can't tiptoe around it. We got to talk direct. I think it helped. And I think it made a very, like, clear channel, like, communication of, like, all right, so next time, like, now it's like, all right, this is how I feel.
You nip it in the butt real quicker.
Yeah, but it's because I think, you know, you just have to, when you're dealing with feelings in real time, sometimes you might not know how to deal with them. Because she's been able to get through that now, I think she knows how she wants to deal with things moving forward. And I think I know too, like, taking accountability, there were things that happened, I was like, oh, damn, I didn't even think about it that way.
I could have handled it this way.
I didn't even look at it that way. I didn't even think that would make you feel, because you don't think about another person. You're thinking, you only know how you react to things. So in learning her, because you also too, you got to think, me and Jess we didn't know each other before this. We were put in a room and we talked for a couple hours and then she came back to the show. Yeah,
and you're both entering this established dynamic that exists between Envy and Charlamagne. And
so
didn't know them well at first either.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all learning and doing this for the first time. And I think the reason why it's working now, like, I jokingly say it's because she went live on Instagram, but what I'm, like, on a deeper level, what I'm trying to get to is that the chemistry has been established a lot differently because we've had to, like, put some Band-Aids on the bruises and clean up and polish and, like every day we're working on things being better. Like we do, like we get tons of feedback, we get notes, we get, and we this is our first time doing radio.
Yeah.
So we're
I think that I always said I think that the original incarnation is the greatest morning show hip hop radio history, right? To me. And you're carrying this new generation of it, right? And I wonder, like, is it about just kind of maintaining that position, or do you have goals to, take it further and like?
Oh no,
those expectations.
I always want to take it further. I'm trying to take it to the moon if I can with the stars. I want to. SNL is a goal for me. I want to act. I do want, like, what I do with the podcast, and even that I'm figuring that out and learning in real time, because a daily show is a lot. But I want the podcast to have like a major streaming partner where like visually I'm platformed and positioned, and there's a production budget for that. Like I have a lot of things.
So that's kind of financed by now independently in a sense. Huh? It's kind of financed more independently right now, your podcast.
What you mean?
Like, you don't have any, besides Black Effect distributes it, but it's kind of moving as a strong independent. You want to find other partners to take it to another level.
Well, I just mean on the visual side. Like,
the video.
So the video, that's I'm just doing it.
Got you.
Right? So in the beginning, we were figuring, because even that, I don't even think that I understood what I wanted that to look like and feel like. So there's been like 3 different iterations of it.
Okay.
But more recently, because I'm in court so much, and, that's really what people want to hear right now, my videos haven't even been the sit-down regular podcast setup.
With a studio,
been me outside of court.
Yeah.
And, with a mic and my camera guy, Patrick, over here, we just on the go. Like, there has been times where, like, I literally have had to record in the car because I'm in between. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's a part of, like, the latest, too. It's like I'm on the go. I'm really out here. I'm outside. I'm getting you the things. So I've been trying to figure out visually, what do I do consistently? And when I figure that out, yes, I do want a partner that can, whether it's like, I don't even know where it will live, because who does like daily good content anymore? But like a Twitch or a Tubi or something like that, where they can come in with the we see what you're doing, and we will put the cameras around it. And a team.
Yeah. No, I was gonna ask you that. Like, so Gavin's individual brand, like you building the identity in real time. You don't have it all figured out. You're saying,
I don't have it all figured out. And at first, I was feeling like when things started to hit, and I was like, okay, people are watching now and they care. I was trying to figure it all out and then present it. And then I was like, I can't do that. I'm tired. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, I don't have it all figured out, and that's always been.
That's fine.
But they tell you that it's not fine, right? Like, even me as a journalist, like, I am horrible with names. Like, I'll remember your names, but for some reason, it's like my brain doesn't connect to, like, my mouth sometimes. So, like, I'll, like, say a name wrong even when I know how to say it right. I'll say one name when I mean to say the other name, like, and I know what I'm meaning to say. And I also, like, I talk a lot, too, so things get lost in the sauce. So, in real time, I'm having to learn to, like, not do all of that. Because when I do it, they're like, she's a journalist. She should know. And I'm like, bro, all right, relax.
And do you have aspirations to do interviews, like more informal, like one-on-one conversations?
100%. My goal with the podcast is to be able to do that, to have like more like of the sit downs. But I wanted to make sure that people really got used to hearing me and hearing me carry the show daily. And I want to get used to producing it daily and making sure things are hitting on time and the format is right before I bring other people into it. But essentially what I want to do is we have the latest with Loren LoRosa, which is Monday through Friday, publishes at 6 a.m. Everywhere you get your podcast. So you hear that, and that's your entertainment news breakdown and quick bites. But there would be maybe bi-weekly bonus episode where it's a sit-down interview. Yeah. That's what I'm going to get to.
Okay. Dream guest? Guest goals?
Man, for sure Jay-Z.
Okay.
That guy's
Jay-Z. Pretty good. Huh? Who?
That guy's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
How was it talking to Jay-Z?
With me and B-Dot, the rap radar? It was great. I mean, we worked hard for it. Took the big interviews like the Drake and him, it took years to get. And, but that was great because we was in Cali and he hadn't really talked about 444.
He don't really talk to nobody.
Yeah. It was good because because B-Dot has a relationship with him too. So what I love about it is that I think the second half of the interview, you kind of can see that we really kind of know him and like there's a certain comfort. And, even though he could have edited stuff out, he didn't make any real major changes. He's had final approval. and we put it out. So it just shows the rapport. Like, but we have built relationships. You know, it's like this business, you got to really build relationships.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you're always kumbaya. You have your ups and downs. Like I've been, he's been mad at me, and all these guys have been mad at me at times. But it's just you
you had people real mad.
Navigate that. Here's why you can't interview other journalists.
No,
because then they flip it on you and they turn it into their shit.
Two things.
Now I'm at the latest Loren LoRosa show and shit.
Exactly. Because first of all,
what you want to know, Loren?
That era of Elliott Wilson, B-Dot, and those interviews, yes.
Like, and I love B-Dot, your Delaware homie. Everybody got to stop trying to play like me and B-Dot are like feuding
because you know
shit.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Because y'all together is like, I really enjoyed that time.
Dion, we cutting all this out.
No, we not. No, we not. Because I got a backup camera in here.
You got any tequila, man?
No, for real.
She about to flip it on me.
There's no tequila in here.
You want a shot? Somebody get you some tequila, please.
By the time they go get it, the interview gonna be over.
No, it's real quick. It's real quick. Go get it.
Okay, well, what I'm saying. Okay. So first of all,
anything you want me to answer.
That time of your interviews were
that was 2017.
Yeah, like we need that vibe back.
I'm trying, baby. I'm trying. Elliott Wilson experience. That's why I have you here.
Yes, we need that vibe back.
You're one of the hottest in the game.
But not even like hottest in the game. Like for me, when I was watching your interviews and like, you know, just the different things that you were doing, there was just so much substance. Like even if it was a person that wasn't the hottest, I'm like, okay, if you're talking to them, I should listen. Then they're hot. But like the reason why and how you went about the interviews and like just, that's why when you're like hip hop journalist, I'm like, no, don't give me that.
Yeah.
You as a hip hop journalist, like you know the things, you know the albums, you can rank them. I can do that. A little bit, but I'm not really all the way there with all of that stuff.
You consider yours more entertainment or celebrity journalism, I guess?
But I get into the hip hop things,
course,
I think that there's a certain just education of...
You're not giving us your top 10 LA rappers list and stuff like that.
I mean, mine would probably be so generic. And even if I listen to people you didn't know, it's just different the way that you would do it coming from the era that you come from, right?
I get it.
So that's my first thing. We need that.
What's your take on the idea that it's harder now? Artists don't feel comfortable to do these sort of informative sit downs and talk about the music. They rather, no disrespect again to the young streamers, they rather go where the huge audiences and less is required of them than to answer tough questions or really dissect their music. It's more entertainment. Like I'm gonna go on the stream.
Yeah.
All these people are gonna watch me. That's gonna help me sell my product. It's an easier lift than you're really gonna break my mind down about this album that I don't want to really explain yet to the world.
I feel like if you build it, they will come. Like I think. To your point, I get what you're saying, but I think that there's just not, I think that's why Breakfast Club is so gold, and that's why I'm like, every day I just have so much gratitude about the fact that I get to be in that room.
Yeah.
Because Breakfast Club has been able to be such a pinnacle of that, of like, okay, we might have fun, it's relevant, but these are
definitive
deep.
interviews too on the Breakfast Club platform.
These are deep, you can't get around things here or whatever. I think if you build it, they will come, but you know what I think also you have to do? You stop doing it, but you can't get in the midst of all the mess, because then people are like, yeah, you can't do that.
L with the mess?
No.
I can't be L with the mess?
Oh, no.
It don't work?
I'm going to say it because I don't got no mess. Yes, you can't do that.
No, I said just with the mess. I can't be L with the mess.
No, first of all, you are just too regarded. You should look at yourself like how a person like me will look at you. Like, I look at you like when all that was happening, I was like, maybe he's going through something in life. Because
I was going through something in life.
Yeah, because it didn't make any sense to me. I felt like where your career, like for what I knew it to be and where the trajectory should be, the two didn't add up. But I think if you build it and you're consistent with it and people respect it, they'll come because they're going to want that notch. Like, it's like being able to do like a Kimmel or a Fallon or a SNL. Like, I don't care how many, other platforms you go on, but there's something about being able to say, I did SNL.
Yeah.
I finally did the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible. You just have to do it and be consistent and stay out of the noise. And that's one of the things I'm learning too, because I don't want my career to just be predicated on like buzz, sensationalized
your name
headlines.
Next to Akademiks in a Google headline.
Oh my God, that was another thing too. Like even during that time, and granted, I always say I don't agree with everything that Akademiks does.
No, but I respect him.
But there's a model of business that he's built for himself that I know it's hard to build in this industry.
You have to respect that part.
I respect that part of it, but everything else, I mean, look, to each his own.
Yeah.
You figure that out.
Yeah.
But I think for you, my point in saying all this is to say that when you start getting into all of that, and like you just said, it's not your strength, but also too, it's just it just taints the brand. And it's like, why? When you've done all this work for it to not be that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're right.
And so those were my 2 points that I brought here today for you, that I put on the altar call. So you take it, you leave it. Also, I don't know what is going on with you and B-Dot, but since you brought that
that's
up.
That's your Delaware homie. I love B-Dot, man. We are good. And that's part of, again, some of those interviews were me and B-Dot. And just like I'm sure it has your moments at the Breakfast Club where it's like, you feel armed, right? Charlamagne's going to ask a great question. Jessica's going to say something like, you're doing these interviews, but it's different people's perspectives, and it makes the interview great too. So I always say with me and B-Dot, we're both great hip-hop journalists who prepared separately. And again, he has a rapport with Jay-Z, for example. I have a rapport, so there's magic in that of like two different people. So I also don't neglect that. I know I could do great work one-on-one, but I also know that's the ultimate tag team partner, and together we have a certain chemistry. Like you said, to me, it's like the ones that, even if it's not the biggest artist, we're still going to treat it with the same care as the big icon artist, you know?
When the last time y'all spoke?
We spoke about we actually spoke to this company about trying to bring Rap Radar over there. So, yeah. But I haven't seen him in person. I would have came to the Clips
thing.
This is some real shit. This is actually too real, but let's keep all this. The Clips listening Monday, I didn't get into town till Tuesday, so I haven't seen him in person, but I saw y'all was repping.
That's good. I'm glad.
He was all cool. He had like shades on or some shit and a Raider jacket or something they was saying. Yeah, he's running around with Ari Melber. He traded me for Ari Melber. That's what happened. He's down with Ari now. This is man.
See, look at you starting beef again. You want to be a beef.
I'm just playing.
Lead the beef to Kendrick, Drake, Clips.
Oh my God.
Travis Scott. Like, you want to be a battle rapper so bad.
If you had to sit down with Drake and Kendrick, what would be the first thing you would say to them?
Them two together?
Yeah. Like Sway with Jay and Nas. Let's say you got only Loren LoRosa get Drake and Kendrick in the room. How do you start the conversation with these fools? You guys have been busy.
Maybe that. I don't know, because I feel like if you drop a joke in that room, nobody would laugh. Like, it would probably be so tense. I don't know.
Here's the scenario I had. I didn't say this to anybody. You remember, so Kendrick does these Toronto shows, right?
Right.
What if Drake really was like, you know what? He reaches out to say, let's have a sit down. Just me, you, one manager, one security. We have a private sit down. Try to get on the same page. I'm gonna drop the lawsuit. After we said I'm gonna drop the lawsuit, but sit down. I don't think Kendrick takes that meeting.
No, not at all. And I'm not.
So you can't never really resolve this in any kind of way.
And maybe that's the first question. Is like, I got y'all in the same room, but can this ever really be resolved? And we just go from there, because I don't think that it can. I think what we're watching, and the reason why people are
it's not even Jay and Nas. That's in that sense of it. That's what I'm saying.
Because in real life, you have one person that really just doesn't respect the character of another person in real life, and then he's telling us through the music, right? Yeah, I think that with and you were outside during this time, I wasn't, but from my perspective of what Jay-Z and Nas is like, they had their differences, but like they both were honorable in their own sense. They both respected
each other as MCs. Right? There was mutual respect.
What we're seeing right now is like there is a lack of respect in real time and in real life.
Lines have been crossed.
100%. And I think once you get to that point, and remember in the beginning I was like, I don't really get into a lot of things because I've been through things in real life that make me realize that this should not ever be that serious. And once it gets to that point, things have to be handled a different way. And I don't ever want to have to, like, I want to just stay out of all that, right? But once things get to a real life point and real life perspective, I think it makes the art really, really good. And like you asked me if the Just thing, if that whole thing was real, and I'm like, it was such, you were glued to it. You wanted to know what was happening. People care because that was real life feeling.
And it's made the show better.
It was real, exactly, because it was real life feeling. So I think what you're watching with Drake and Kendrick, because it is real life feeling between the two of them, because of things that have happened from what we've heard behind the scenes, right? Lines were crossed that we were told not to be crossed.
Just off what we know, and there's so much we actually don't know for on the record officially.
That's why people are so glued to it. So having them in the room together, it's like, will this ever be really resolved? Like y'all are here, but like I'll probably be like, why are y'all here?
So to me, that's why I go back to you. It still remains hip hop's biggest story. Like people were like, well, we should move on. Like, how do we move on? The guy it's still a lawsuit. The guy just did shows in Toronto. It's like, how are we supposed to move on? Like,
I don't listen to people. It
defines the culture.
When they say we should move on, because you know what happens if you got a huge Drake or Kendrick exclusive that ties to that situation right now and you dropped it, ain't nobody moving nowhere. They're going to pull up a seat. They're going to grab a roommate. They want a key to the house. They ain't moving nowhere. People are going to be tuned in.
I got a quick question.
Yes, no.
Now, I'm going to give you the quick hitter thing. I don't ever do this, but it's going to be fun with you. You ready?
Yes.
Text or phone call?
Phone call.
First thing you do when you wake up?
Thank God.
Dream guest for the latest or Breakfast Club?
Jay-Z, Issa Rae.
Biggest misconception about Loren LoRosa?
That I'm so serious.
No, you funny. You smile. And you have a nice smile. You funny.
Oh, thank you.
Who's running the culture right now?
Who's winning? Kai.
Damn. I gotta be nice to that boy. That was a big mistake too when I messed up with that
Oh my
kid.
God, I was so disappointed in you when you did that.
Hey.
No, because you don't ever really get this sit with people that have
I
actually.
hugged the kid. You saw I hugged the kid.
Exactly.
All
So
right,
y'all got
good.
to that point. But
Yes.
I'm telling you this because I want you to know how like someone my age is looking at you like, and
I disappointed you.
You know what I mean? People will never get to sit with Elliott Wilson and tell them like, yo, when that was going on, it was like, dang, like, because we look at you a certain way. So that's why I'm being very honest with you because
I appreciate it.
I don't want you to slip, but you know,
I'm
you're doing better now. Things are better. I could tell you. The laugh is laughing.
Elliott's talking to his therapist.
Yes.
I realized I have your number, so I can always text you if I really go off the deep end.
And my therapist, because I just said bring tequila in here, and that is not what your therapist should do. Ever.
Don't judge the medical community out here, man.
See, maybe that's why all that was happening. You was going to therapists that give you tequila. That is
most underrated rapper in the game. Who do you like? Yeah, who do you like musically? So
I like a lot of people.
Talk your hip hop shit. Who do you really like?
What am I listening to them for?
What are you listening to?
It's different. So like if I'm turning up, or if I wanna...
You was at the clip session, nodding your head, I'm sure.
Yes.
So what are you bumping? What's Loren LoRosa bumping at the crib?
I listen to a lot of Lil Baby.
Okay.
Glorilla right now.
Yeah, Glow.
Yes. Who else? I listen to Fab a lot.
Okay.
I love Wale.
Love Wale too.
Tiana Taylor is one of my favorites as well. I still play her, Keep That Same Energy. I'm all over the place, Elliott. You got to ask me like more specifically. Like,
I have one here. What's your go-to like I need to feel powerful song? Like what gets you hyped up?
It's something Lil Baby probably. Either Lil Baby or Jay-Z. I like people who talk.
Are you disappointed that we thought Lil Baby was gonna like really kind of stay here? No disrespect to anybody. I love P. I love
crazy.
QC.
I'm disappointed that...
No, we thought he was going to be like, he's hotter than... Remember the record he had with Drake, and he smoked Drake on the record, and everybody was like, he's about to get... And then he did the Mount Rushmore with all his heads, and the album wasn't as good as the
But why do you think the fall-off came? Because I'm more disappointed that people even had a fall-off conversation with him.
He got really rich, this kid.
He got really rich, but yes. he was still walking around in Atlanta walking in convenience stores. I think
the music wasn't as good as that. The album that came out during the pandemic was a classic album to me, and the next album just wasn't as good, so...
The last one that just came out?
No, I actually like this last one.
Okay, because
I think the Dumb and Dumber record should have been bigger with him and Future and Thug.
I agree.
I think at his prime that would have been a hit. So I think people are unfairly hating on him now. I think this last album is good.
That is exactly what I was going to say.
But he turned on when he don't do the Mount Rushmore thing with all your faces and all that. Like
I think I'm more disappointed that
that's something I would do.
People gave up on Lil Baby. I don't know where the turn happened.
They got disappointed in him.
It happens though. Like people are disappointed in other artists. So you like all
those albums? You like the Mount Rushmore?
I love Lil Baby.
Okay.
Like I really do it. But I like
Lil Baby is your favorite rapper?
He's not. I wouldn't say. I don't know if I have a favorite rapper.
Got you.
But I do listen to him a lot.
Though, right? Jay-Z's the GOAT?
Of course.
Okay, gotcha.
The reason why I like him, I think, because I'm tied to like story.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first found him, it was on SoundCloud, and it was my dog.
That's my dog.
Yeah, I think it was SoundCloud. It was SoundCloud, and just watching him from then to now. Yeah,
and the freestyle one he had right there.
Yes, my dog and the freestyle were the two.
Those are the ones that broke him out. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So watching that to now, it just feels like like you go from rags to riches. I mean, he came with money, but I like stories, so that's why I like him. But I like a lot of different artists, so it's hard to answer those type of questions. Yeah. That's why I'm not the hip hop journalist you be trying, because I can't even do a list of right now.
We did talk about Brown Girl Grinding.
Oh yeah.
What exactly does that mean? What is that name perfect for you? What does it mean to you as a brand, and what are you trying to create there?
Brown Girl Grinding is the story. Like I was just saying, I'm tied to people who tell stories. Brown Girl Grinding is a story. So Brown Girl Grinding is, I always say, Loren LoRosa is the media person or the outlet. Brown Girl Grinding is the story that gives you tools to accomplish either what I'm doing or to accomplish something. And sometimes Brown Girl Grinding is the space I go to be able to continue to be Loren LoRosa. Like I'm literally like documenting what I'm going through. I'm sharing information with people. I'm sharing resources. On a better day at Brown Girl Grinding, you could be motivated. You can twerk with your homegirls. You can be angry.
Twerk with your homegirls.
Yeah, because we're sharing. Like I love to lean into like the new rap girls when we have our events. Like we do something called the Brown Girl Grinding meetups. Haven't done it yet this year because I've been busy, but we do the Brown Girl Grinding meetups. And I remember, oh my God, Ice Spice, right? And my goal was always with the Brown Girl Grinding meetups was to find the rap girls that people don't love. She's a little light-skinned
for the Brown Girl Grinding, though.
But she's brown. Brown is not, I mean, so for me, Brown Girl Grinding was my actual skin complexion. Like me being a brown skinned woman.
You. But but celebrates all black women.
Yeah, black women there's different shades of brown and we're all different. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. But we had a meetup where Ice Spice was actually supposed to be one of our guests that came.
Oh, wow.
But this was way, you didn't even care about her at this point.
No, Munch and all that wasn't happening yet.
Munch was moving, but it was only here in New York. Like, and I was here a lot because my mom's hospital was here. And I kept hearing the song. I'm like, who is this girl? And people were telling me about her. So we reached out to have her come to the event. We had Amaretta there. Ken the Man was there as well, too. Oh, wow. And a week before the event, they told us like, yo, basically things about to get too lit. She can't come.
The price went up.
Yo, and I was like, that is crazy how it works. But when I say twerk with your homegirls, I mean that when it comes to music and hip hop, I like to use Brown Girl Grinding as a vehicle to support the women in hip hop and the up and coming women in hip hop. But to answer your question, Brown Girl Grinding is a movement. It's like a group chat. You don't got to be a woman to join it. You can, support Brown Girl Grinding. Okay. Yeah, you can support us.
I can join the BGG. I could be up in there.
You got me here, so you're already supporting us.
That's true.
But it's a movement. It's a group chat. It's inspiration. It's motivation. But it's tools and resources to get you through your day of accomplishing something major.
So how do you do that part too? I see you nice to every nutcase outside the courthouse. I don't know how you just a sweet person and like accommodating. You're not judgmental of like this person's this level. Not how do you do that part of it also? Besides this ambition you have as a professional and so driven with your work ethic. To me, it's still very important for you to have this sort of like human side of like connectivity to people and you display it.
I don't know how else to be. Like, this is just how I was raised. Like, I'm very personable. I mean, don't play with me though.
Yeah.
But I'm very personable because this is literally just how I was raised to be. And I think it's one of those things like, too, I would say it's been working for me, but then it sounds like I'm using it strategically and I'm not.
No, it seems like it's real.
But I do think that like it makes my job easier because when I was at TMZ, I remember I used to have to call people, like, you know how they tell you who died? Imagine calling someone's mom and being like, this is Loren from TMZ. I'm calling because we heard so-and-so passed away. Yeah. We can't confirm it through the coroner, so I was told to call you, right? My God. Imagine having to do that. And I've had to do that a lot, right? The only thing that would save me in those situations, because, people get mad. Of course, they're going to hang up on you, all that.
Yep.
The only thing that would save me a lot of times in those situations was being a human and just being a person. So I always told myself that no matter where I worked or what I did, I wanted to keep that human factor because I think when you moving, when you hustling, when you grinding, you get very like numb. Like you forget that like these are real people that you're calling, these, and even now, sometimes at Breakfast Club, they be having to be like, Loren, that was a bit much. Because sometimes I'm desensitized because I'm literally trained to go.
Yeah.
But being human has saved me so much and has been able to help me get to different things that I wanted to accomplish so much that I just keep it at the forefront of everything I do. But also I was literally raised this way, so I don't know what else to do.
You speak to your family. I mean, you keep touching on the family. Like, how are things with your family now? And like, speak about like how you've balanced the personal life with the professional life.
Oh, it's crazy right now. I'm still figuring it out right now.
Yeah.
But everybody's good. My mom is healthy. My grandmother's healthy. My brother is good. My niece is good.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing right now is they're just used to me being a little bit more available for them. Like I used to be able to go to Delaware like every weekend if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I might be there for 24 hours and just like, I went home the other weekend and just being able to sleep in the bed with my mom, I was like, Mom, I know that I can only be here for a day, but like, I'm not going to go out. We just going to chill. We're going to watch movies, fall asleep, wake up, go to church. Something like as small as that is such a big thing to me now because I don't have the time like I used to have, like at all. But I'm really close to my family. We've always been close. Yeah. My family's very traditional. So like, mother-daughter sleepovers. We do Christmases the same way and have been my whole life. Thanksgiving. You don't miss birthdays. Like, we just, how black families are. Spades, yelling, crabs, all that,
And back, and you got court tomorrow. You're going right back to court tomorrow.
I am.
I got court tomorrow.
Yeah,
Diddy court.
Court tomorrow. Diddy court is crazy. Now, I be places.
I got court tomorrow. I be places.
They be like, Loren, what's up with Diddy? I'm like, yo, I'm in church. Like, what?
Yo, what is happening? In the room, don't you think Diddy trial? Don't you think Loren LoRosa? Come on. It's crazy.
It is crazy, but it's like, imagine being in church and somebody being like, yo, she be with Diddy at the crib. And I'm like, can you please
calm down?
Can you clarify that? Like, somebody said the other day, yo, she be going to go see Diddy. Oh, Jess said it to somebody. She was like, she be going to go see Diddy. I was like, I go to the trial because I report on it. Because they look like, what? And I'm like, no, yeah, man.
Well, thank you for taking the time and coming over here. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the tough words and the kind words.
Thanks for answering my questions.
Huh?
Thanks for answering my questions.
Of course.
Let me take over.
Queen of hip-hop journalism, entertainment journalism, Loren LoRosa.
Don't do that. That's a big thing. Thank you, though.
Thank you.